between you and you. Before we begin, I need you to do something. Put it down. Whatever you were just thinking about, the text you need to send, the thing you said earlier, the thing on your list tomorrow. It'll still be there when we're done. You can pick it all back up in 20 minutes. But for right now, you're off the clock. Close your eyes. Take one breath just to land. Nobody needs anything from you right now. This is your time. Let me say something up front. This is not a forgive your parents session. I'm not going to ask you to excuse anything. I'm not going to tell you everything happens for a reason, or that they did their best, or that you should just move on. What I am going to do is ask you to look at them, really look at them, as people. Not as the giant figures they were when you were small. As actual human beings who had their own damage, their own limitations, their own unprocessed pain. You don't have to feel anything particular about that. You just have to be willing to see it. Here's where we start. I want you to think about one thing you needed from a parent that you didn't get. One thing, not a list of grievances. Just the one that still echoes. Maybe it was approval. Maybe it was safety. Maybe it was the freedom to be yourself without being corrected. Maybe it was just someone paying attention. Do you have it? Sit with it for a moment. Don't rush past the feeling it brings up. Now here's the question most people never ask. Why couldn't they give it to you? Not why didn't they? Why couldn't they? There's a difference. Didn't implies a choice. Couldn't implies a limitation. And in most cases, not all, but most, it was a limitation. Think about what you know about their life. Not the version they told at dinner parties, the real one. What was their childhood like? Were they loved? Were they safe? Were they given the thing you needed from them? In most cases, the answer is no. You can't give away something you never received. You can't model emotional safety if no one modeled it for you. You can't be present for your child's feelings if you were taught to suppress your own. This is not an excuse. Let me be very clear about that. Understanding why someone couldn't give you what you needed does not mean it was okay that you didn't get it. Both of these things are true at the same time. They had real limitations, and you have real wounds. Those two truths can coexist without canceling each other out. Here's where most people get stuck. They feel like they have to choose. Either my parents were bad and I'm justified in being hurt, or my parents were doing their best and I need to get over it. But neither of those is the full picture. The full picture is much messier and much more honest. They were both doing their best and falling short. And you were both loved and hurt. And all of that is true. At the same time, let me ask you something else. The thing you needed and didn't get. Have you been looking for it in other places? If you didn't get approval from a parent, do you find yourself chasing it from bosses, partners, friends? If you didn't feel safe at home, do you find yourself building walls in every relationship? If you weren't allowed to take up space, do you still make yourself small? That's not weakness. That's your nervous system still looking for what it needed. Still trying to complete a circuit that was left open. And here's the part that might feel unfair. The person responsible for completing that circuit now is you. Not because it's your fault it was left open, but because you're the only person with the power to close it. Your parents can't go back and do it differently. Even if they wanted to, even if they've changed. The moment is past, but the need is still present. So the question becomes, can you give yourself the thing they couldn't? If you needed approval, can you learn to approve of yourself without waiting for someone else to go first? If you needed safety, can you build a life where safety isn't dependent on someone else's mood? If you needed someone to say you're enough, can you practice saying it until you believe it, even a little? This isn't fast work. It's not a one-session fix. It might take years. It might take help, a therapist, a partner, a friend who sees you clearly. But it starts with what you just did. Naming the gap, seeing where it came from, and deciding that you deserve to have it filled. Even if you have to be the one to fill it. One last thing. If your parent is still alive, this session doesn't have to change your relationship with them. You don't have to call them. You don't have to confront them. You don't have to forgive them on any timeline other than your own. But you might find that understanding them, even slightly, even reluctantly, makes carrying the weight a little easier. Not because they earned your understanding, but because the weight was never yours to carry in the first place. Come back to this room. Take a breath. You just looked at one of the most foundational relationships in your life with adult eyes. Maybe for the first time. That's something. Thank you for doing this hard work for yourself.